Hello, everyone. My name is Dimitri. I'm the co-founder of Dear Digital, which is an agency specialized in e-commerce. Today, we're going to talk about content that performs in 2022. Exciting topic. There will be a Q&A at the end, so you are able to ask questions within Zoom itself. So you can take 1 second to check if that's clear for you. So in the end, you will be able to ask any questions. A couple of disclaimers before that we start this webinar. So everything that I'm talking about during this webinar is based on my own experience as a performance marketeer. Been doing this for, I think, more than 6 years. Was all paid advertising. So we're not going to discuss any organic marketing or anything like that today. Was also very much focused on Western European markets. So there's a big cultural difference about like advertising in America, Africa, even Asia. So did none of those things. So only in the European continent. Important to tell you that. And then finally, last disclaimer, if your product isn't great, your marketing won't be great. And so marketing won't sell anything. So I know it's not a nice one to hear, but it's an important one. So I've seen in the list of attendees that there were a lot of marketeers attending today in this webinar. So I think you can all agree that 2021, apart from COVID and all those things, purely as a Facebook marketeer or a performance marketeer, 2021 wasn't the best year. So the thing is that, yeah, you see Mark Zuckerberg here. Facebook and Apple had a small fight in May 2021 regarding privacy. And so that changed a lot. So the thing is that nowadays it's more difficult to not only track, but to analyze ads, how they are performing. So for us as an agency, of course, a big obstacle, a big challenge for us that we've been focused on for the last couple of months, focused on for the last year. So the thing is, regarding the fact that they cannot analyze the data that is coming in from people that opt out through Apple devices, the algorithm doesn't learn that much. So we've seen customer acquisition costs, so the cost of how much it costs to bring in a new customer, rising in the last couple of months. And that's something that we need to be aware of. I think content and being creative, because of these technical changes, have become even more important. So that's also the reason why we thought this webinar was very actual, and that's something that we wanted to discuss with you today. So let's discuss. I have a 2020, 2022, 2 days, 2 years that I would like to compare. So if you look at 2020, if you would have a talk with me about e-commerce, I would definitely advise you to be like, okay, you can put a lot of your eggs in the one basket, and Facebook ads is a way to scale your business as an e-commerce business. Today, that is different. It was also very much about testing audiences, like lookalike audiences, custom audiences. Also, that has changed today. Was also, in the end, the third thing, very much about user-generated content and those type of ads. I think today that has changed as well. If your 65-year-old uncle can see through them, then yeah, there's something wrong with them. I think user-generated content is still important to use within your funnel. It should be used in the right way, and it should be adapted to where we are today within the paid advertising medium. 2022, if you had a talk with me today, I would tell you something different. It wouldn't be put all your eggs in one basket. We would be talking about an omni-channel strategy. There have been a couple of platforms that have been upcoming lately, like TikTok, and their paid ads that they're providing is quite interesting. We're not at the level of Facebook yet, but we're seeing nice results with that as well. Pinterest, also one that has been around for a couple of years, very cheap, has a very typical buyer persona, which is mostly female, but again, a very interesting platform to look at beside of Facebook ads. Then I was talking about in 2020 that I would say test audiences should be, next to, of course, nice creatives, the main focus. Today, it would be testing creative angles. So what I mean with testing creative angles is like, okay, let's say that you're selling one product. You have 3 ways of trying to sell or trying to communicate on your product. You can talk about, let's say, the functionality, the USPs. Otherwise, you can like put the lifestyle, the core of the brand before everyone. And then the third, you can say, we have a problem, you guys have a problem, my audience has a problem, and we're fixing it. And I'm talking about like a founders generated content. It's a word that we use at Dear Digital, where we have the person, the startup founder, let's say, or the scale up founder that talks about the brand, the problem. And it can be simply footage filmed with an iPhone where we talk about the product and how it helps your daily life. So that is something that we do when a new client comes in. We will always check like, okay, we have 3 angles. We can make some assumptions on what works best, but we don't know. And that's the first thing that we're going to do. We're going to check which creative angle makes sense, which creative angle like touches the right, has the nice spark with the audience. So that's the first thing that we're going to do when opening a new Facebook ads account. And that's what you should be doing as well. Testing audiences is not that important anymore. We're focused on very much broad audiences, because if you, for example, go for women that are interested in books and live in Ghent, something very specific, that will be too niche, and there are not enough touch points there, not enough data for Facebook to really track them, especially with the privacy issues that have been going on of lately. And then we were talking about in 2020 UGC ads. Today we're talking about formula video ads. So you might ask yourself, like, what is this formula ad? It's not a word that you're going to find by simply Googling it. It's a word that we use internally, but I'm going to explain you what it, of course, what it entails. So formula ads for us have 5 building blocks. The first one is the hook. The second one is the product stating the product. The third one, we're talking about the benefits. The fourth is social proof. And then eventually we have the call to action. So I'm going to dive a bit deeper into that. But before that, I want to say that mostly we're looking at content that could and should be created for TikTok. Even if we're talking about other medium like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, we're talking about content that should and could work on TikTok, because we see the dynamism of TikTok, which is super fast paced, which is very much engaging, fun, that works on almost all platforms right now. I'm not talking about Google, other medium, other intention also, but that's how we're looking at content today. So I'm going to dive into those 5 building blocks that they're super clear for you, because that's how you should look at your own ads. Let's say tomorrow you want to create a video ad to start selling your new startup e-commerce product or brand. Then you should start with, okay, what are my 5 building blocks? What do they actually look like? So the hook is one of the most important things. And the hook, it's the first 3 seconds of the video that should really connect with your audience. It can be something super funny, super engaging, but what is key here is that you don't want to scroll away. So you're in your news feed, Facebook feed, Instagram feed, you don't want to scroll away, and you have the feeling like, okay, this company, this brand, this product is talking to me, and I want to engage with it. So what we're looking at purely as content, it could be like a relatable pain point. So let's say you have you're an athlete and you always have knees that hurt, and you have a product that helps with that. That should be the first thing. In the first second, you should see someone talking about that or visualizing that specific issue. You can have a desired wanted state, like imagine lotto, or like selling like tickets to win, to become a billionaire. That could be the desired wanted state, where you see yourself surrounded in a big villa in the swimming pool. Calling out the demographic, let's say you're selling t-shirts for people that are proud of being in Ghent. I know they exist with the 9,000 zip code on them. It's super easy. You say, are you from Ghent? Then this is something for you. The hook will define your whole creative variable and will let you perform or not perform. Stating the product, which stating the product, I mean showing the product, what does it do, and how does it look like? And a very important one, I see a lot of ads where you aren't zoomed in on the product. The product, it's unclear what you're buying. The ad is a perfect way to present your product in the most efficient way. Benefits, we're talking about benefits, the key benefits to your product. What does it solve? How does it solve it? Is it eco-friendly? Is it something that you can use every day? Is it good for bad skin? All these type of things you want to present in that one ad, and that ad will usually take only like 30 seconds. So it's a lot of things, and I will of course show you some examples on how other brands do it. But there's a lot of stuff stuffed into that one video of about 30 seconds. Then you have social proof, like, okay, you're telling me this, why should I believe you? So a relevant testimonial, if we're talking about something medical, you want to maybe have a doctor coming in and telling that they approve this product. So a relevant testimonial is key here. Call to action, that's like also the perfect way to like present your brand at the end. It's like a clear, it's your logo and a clear call to action. Let's say you have a discount at that point, is like, okay, you can buy our products online at minus 10%. That's a very clear call to action. Don't forget it. I have some examples, and in one of the examples that I'm going to show you, there's no call to action, but it's a really good ad. And then I have like, okay, why not use a call to action? It's a best practice. It shows you why you should like go on the website right away, why you shouldn't waste any time and go to the website right away. So the first ad that I'm going to show you, for the people that don't speak Dutch in this webinar, my apologies. It's a Dutch with it's an ad, sorry, with Dutch copy. You're going to see, and I hope you notice it, that the 5 building blocks, apart from one that we're going to discuss afterwards, but those 5 building blocks are very much in this ad. So I'm going to click play, and I hope you hear the sound. All right. Sorry. All right. So as you can see, very TikTok-ish, very fun vibes, nice vibes, not too serious. That's what we see working today. That's really what we should be focusing on. If we're making effective ads, those are the ones, those are the building blocks that we need to use. So first of all, we had the hook. Toothpaste coming out of a tube is something that is, for some reason, quite captivating. So, and they ask why you shouldn't buy a toothpaste anymore. So it's already like telling you something, making a clear statement about something. Then afterwards, it's stating the problem. You can see a clear visual. It's using a mix of video and photography, but they're saying that it has unhealthy ingredients, that it's not eco-friendly. So they're stating a clear problem. Then they show the product, explain the product. and they go over to the functionalities, the clear benefits that come with the ads. In the end, we have a call to action, and if you heard the voiceover for the Dutch-speaking people, the first one is free, which is, of course, a very strong call to action to make, and something that not every company can promise, of course. But having a clear call to action in the end is the reason why at the end of the ad, I will click on the website and I will check out if this is something for me. It's creating some kind of urgency as well, because now it's free. In the near future, it might not be. So those are the building blocks that we use on a daily basis to construct the perfect ads. Here, it's not very serious. We have brands which are positioned more serious. You can still use the same type of building blocks to create this type of ads. You could say like, okay, this is missing the social proof that you were talking about. Not every building block should be in the ad itself or the content itself. It can be in the copywriting as well, for example. So here you see approved by dentists, and then also on the website, if you scroll further, you can see, it has more than 50K satisfied customers. So in the funnel, they embed a lot of social proof. So it still makes sense, it has all the 5 building blocks that we were talking about. Now, what if you land on the website and you decide not to purchase right away, which most customers or most potential customers won't do? Of course, then you can have remarketing campaigns based on website visitors, based on people that engaged. We believe at Dear Digital that this is the perfect moment also to focus on your branding. Here you can use a bit nicer photography. It's not iPhone footage. It's really with good lighting. Also regarding animation and everything, it's quite top notch. It's more studio focused, and we believe that it's very important to have that balance, because you're doing the short-term sprint, let's say, where you want to make a lot of money, but then besides of that, you're building a brand. So you have to have that balance between in your funnel of doing both. What is also interesting here at the remarketing funnel is that you can see like, okay, they're very much focused on the product. They're saying, okay, if you buy a starter pack, this, and this will be in it. Super, super clear. I'm not going to be surprised by anything that comes into my mailbox. This is what I'm getting. Also, again, very focused on branding. It tells me that this brand has potential, that I believe it's not a hoax, because it has that nice look and feel, which in the first stage you might not have, but that is what converts. Okay, when we're talking about top of the funnel ads, like the first ads that you saw, we're bringing those people to the homepage mostly. In the remarketing phase, we're presenting you a clear product. It will be better at that stage that you focus and bring those people to your product page. You can test it. Yeah, you can have people coming in the awareness phase where you show the more user-generated stuff and have them land on the product page right away. For some companies, it works. For other, you need that story. You need that background story, and then the homepage is more efficient and more promising. Okay, next ad. Okay, nice. Here, it's important to see that, again, you have the really nice hook. You have the 5 building blocks that we were talking about. Also, for me, important, for some startups, it's difficult to find, let's say, an influencer or the perfect model to showcase in your video. But here, this is something that you can do yourself. It's not saying that it shouldn't be a review. It shouldn't be someone talking like in a third party talking about your brand. It can be yourself. Act in your small video it will perform as good as someone else is doing it. So what my advice here is start as soon as possible with testing this, because it looks quite simple. Okay, 5 building blocks, I just put them in there and it will work. It needs testing, it needs creativity. You will make mistakes in the beginning. So the thing is also, maybe you should have been in disclaimer as well. What I'm talking about today can be different in 2 months. That's how fast we are going in digital marketing in that specific world, in that specific industry. So please be aware, and that's the reason why I'll also, in one of the hacks that I'm telling you at the end, always be looking at your competitors. Always follow your competitors, look at their ads. There is a tool for it. Make sure that you are aware of trends. It used to be full UGC. It's not anymore. Can still be important within the funnel. Now it's these type of ads. In 2 months, it can be something completely different. So please be aware of that and keep following your competitors. People that are spending millions and millions on Facebook ads, those are the ones that should be on your list to follow. I can give you some tips on that, and I can give you, like, maybe if you email me a list on who we are following at Your Digital, who we are copying, because that's the thing. It's copying, it's sometimes stealing small ideas. They will do the same from you. So yeah, that's really key. I always have issues going to the next slide. Sorry for that. So if you look at that video, it also has a very nice hook. It has those weird looking mushrooms. You're wondering about what is it? You are teased in a way. It states the product, and even in a way where it's super close, focused on the ingredients that it has, on the disclaimers that are on the bottle. So yeah, it's really focused on the product here. It states the benefits, it helps you focus, all those type of things. Maybe I'm a person that has a problem focusing and I have an important job, should be focused. Maybe that's the product for me. You have some social proof and at the end, and here there was a call to action missing, something that I would definitely advise to add on at the end. And again, it's an ad, it's a type of content that you could see on TikTok today. These type of ads are not in line with my brand. That's something that multiple clients of ours have told us. Not an easy conversation always, but the thing is, yeah, we're focused on performance. So the thing, if you're only doing nice looking visuals that very much look like an ad, that are studio photography, you won't have the performance that you're looking for. And that's why we are telling to our clients, please be aware that top of the funnel, we have to go for trends. We have to go for the things that look a bit more rough. And I'm going to show you how you can make it less rough if you want to in the next coming slides. But that's really key, that you're looking at, if you want to advertise on Facebook and you're not some big multinational like PepsiCo or anything like that, you should really go for that, these type of ads that are converting at this stage. If it's UGC ads, it's UGC ads. If it's something completely different, if it's review ads, unboxing videos, then you should go for those trends, because otherwise you're throwing money out the window. And that's not what we're looking for, I think. So what we're looking at is, okay, we have Outdoor Voices, which is a big D2C brand. What we advise our clients is like, okay, you should have a mix. I was talking about the sprint and the marathon. The sprint is where we actually go for conversions. We need that money fast. And then right at the same time, you want to build a brand. In 20 years, you want something that people still remember, that the Nikes and the Coca-Colas of the world are doing. You want to have that same ambition. It's a big ambition, but of course you still should go for it. That's why that 40% is also very important to focus on. We're not only doing the short-term thing, we're building a brand as well at the same stage, at the same time. So let's say the toothpaste brand Smile, if the company was coming to us and they had 10K for a campaign during 3 months, how at this stage would we divide? Never worked with that client before. how would we divide purely media budgets? Let's say we have 10K to spend. How would we divide the money on the different platforms? So we have two things. You have, of course, the big funnel, which all the different layers. But here I'm just gonna, for the sake of this presentation, I'm just gonna split them up in two different aspects. You have awareness, and you have conversion. We're looking at Facebook and Instagram, same company. Automatic placements will let you divide your money based on the algorithm. What they tell you is the best. It's still the most converting platform at this stage. So you might have some other some brands or products where Google Ads is more important if it's very search intent based. But for most companies, and like this one, I don't think in Belgium, let's say, that there are a lot of people already Googling like toothpaste, those small toothpaste tablets. Not a lot of people are Googling that. So Facebook and Instagram will take the highest portion still of the 10K, because it's still the platform that converts the most. Because of the fact that it's new, it's original, and it's focused on a young buyer persona, TikTok would also take a big portion of the awareness media budget. So we would like really use TikTok to create awareness within the specific group that we're looking for. Since it might be a product that is close to female audiences as well, Pinterest would also be involved, because Pinterest is very cheap. If we're talking about CPMs, so the cost of 1,000 impressions, you can, Facebook right now at this stage is at the average at 8-9 euros. If we're looking at Pinterest, they're still at 3 euros. So you're paying much less to target the same amount of audiences. But again, it converts less. And the reason why is that people on Facebook, on Instagram are in buying modus. So if you're scrolling your feed in your bed at night, you're probably mostly in buying modus. So if you see an ad that you like, and you buy online, of course, that's a big variable, then you might be able, you might buy something that you like. Whether in Pinterest, also on TikTok, you're there to be entertained. On Pinterest, you're there for inspiration. You're looking to create a mood board for your next house that you're building or whatever. It's a total different mindset. Then you have YouTube ads, which I still very much like YouTube, because it's a Google product and based on the intent that people have online. So in Google search ads, if you're, let's say, you're looking to renovate your house, you're using the type of keywords that YouTube is aware of, then can show you the perfect ad at the perfect time. So it's still an audience where there's a lot of data, and that you can show visual and storytelling modus, a very captivating story. Then also in awareness, 1K for Google display, mostly a bit of search ads, which will be focused on, let's say, Het Laatste Nieuws, these type of news websites, where we put a couple of banners to create awareness, because it's a big campaign that we're running, and we're trying to make sure that people know about the brand and know about the value proposition. Then in conversion stage, so people have shown interest, they have gone on your website, engaged with your brands, it would go 1K for Facebook and Instagram, the remarketing campaigns that I was showing you before. And then you have 0.5K, 500 euros for Google Ads and TikTok split. TikTok would be a small test, conversion-wise, not yet fully optimized. My team is seeing that, for example, setting up add to carts instead of conversions, that makes sense right now to look at today within the TikTok ad platform. Okay, I'm talking a lot, but you probably want some clear things that you can start with, apart from the building blocks that I discussed. So I'm gonna give you like a couple of hacks, a couple of small things that you can focus on, that we also do at Your Digital on a daily basis, like, how do I start with this? How do I find these competitors and their ads? How can I find inspiration? How do I write copy? These type of tips that I'm going to give you in the next slides. All right, hack one. So what we do is we go on a small website that is called thinktesting.com. What is think testing? It's a website that like gathers a lot of very cool companies that are D2C companies. So all the sexy brands that you're seeing today, the Allbirds, the Caspers, the Away, those type of ads, they're all on that website. So if I click search and let's say I'm looking for that toothpaste, I'm building a toothpaste brand, I would type in toothpaste, and then I would jump on an example of a cool company, a potential competitor of mine. I would see like I would be able to go on the website, but that's not what I'm looking for at this stage. I would click on the social link of Instagram. I will find that the Instagram handle is Ordo Live, copy it, put it, and then Google Facebook ad library. I don't know if you guys know Facebook ad library. I think most marketeers, and if there are some people that work for agencies, I bet you use it on a daily basis. It would be strange if you don't, but it lets you. So then I copied the Instagram handle that I found on via Think Testing. Then I can see all the ads that company is currently running, which is of course an amazing tool. It's a tool that all agencies, most marketers know about. If you're running a startup or scale up in the e-commerce world, this should be something that is added to your bookmarks, to your favorites, to use on a daily basis, because it's so unbelievable. You can look at companies that spend millions on Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and you can simply check what type of content are they running, what type of copy are they running. And the thing that I said about awareness campaigns and remarketing campaigns, if you're a bit a marketeer with experience, you can easily find which type of funnel they are currently running. They won't tell you this is awareness, this is consideration, this is remarketing, or anything like that. But it's super clear in the tone of voice, in the way that they present the brand or the company. So yeah, you could say it's stealing, but it's something that is public to anyone, and it's just a tool that we use on a daily basis for inspiration. If there's a company that is spending millions on it, and you can see how they are running ads, and if the type of ads have been the same for like the last year or so, you know there's something there. They are doing something that works, and it would be very stupid not to copy them at one point. Copy them in a different way that is close to your tone of voice, close to your brand. But the building blocks that we were talking about, that comes out of these type of research that we do. Okay, hack two. Hack two is going to Amazon, typing in the whatever product that you're looking for, the general version, not the brand. You type it in, you land on one that looks similar to you, or has the same type of value proposition as your company has. Then you click on the reviews, and you have a lot of reviews, of course, on Amazon. You read some of them, of course, not all of them. And you can find keywords that are like the 10 red line that are coming back within all the reviews. So here we saw a lot of people talking about environmental, the eco-friendly aspect, the fact that it's easy to carry around. They're talking about the small starter kit for toothpaste that is easy to carry around. So if these are the keywords that are being used a lot in reviews, those are the key aspects of that brand, of that product, people find important. And so if you see that in your product or your brand, you have those type of USPs as well, that's something that you really should use in your communication. So let's say that we're writing some ad copy for the company Smile, and we're using that an environmental aspect. That could be something like your toothpaste tubes are non-degradable and will remain on the surface of the earth for at least 400 years. That's a true statement. I dare making that statement. So it's something that you could use as ad copy, and based on your research that you did on Amazon, that people connect with it. That's also something that I would like very much tell you to do, so is make harsh statements in the first sentence of your ad copy. Don't be too neutral. Don't try to talk to anyone. Just make a harsh statement about something that you believe in, that your brand stands for. I'm not pointing at clickbaity. It will make it a bit more clickbaity, but it will just connect better if it's a harsh statement than something soft. If I would say something like, your toothpaste tubes are bad for the environment, that's something that is very general, very not harsh enough for you to connect with. This is a harsh statement. That's also why I'm adding this emoticon. So it's very clear what we're talking about. Thing is, you might get some backlash. A lot of eco-friendly people, which we all should be, are gonna have some negative comments about your statements, and that's something that happens with every company. If you're and every ad account, if you're not having any bad reviews, bad comments on your ads, you're doing something wrong. You're too soft, too neutral. All right, we're going to hack 3. Not really a hack. It's something that every marketeer does, but it's something that I want to do really state that is super important. It's the intro of the videos. So those are 2 shots out of the video that I showed you in the beginning. It's so important that you should make 3 to 5 variables of every ad. And you should take the middle of your ad and try to put it in the beginning, and just like a puzzle, mess around with it until you find the perfect ad that wins from any other ad. We have seen examples from return on ad spend and even software KPIs like CPC that go triple, quadruple the amount, both in a positive and a negative way, just by changing those first seconds. So if your first seconds are boring, you're gonna mess up every ad dollar or euro that you're gonna use. So make sure it's worth it, and make a lot of variations. Hack number 4. So we were talking about UGC ads and how they are not as actual anymore, that some people might see through them. I still believe in them, and especially in Belgium, we are always a bit behind on trends, and so it is still working very much so, but we are seeing some movement there, and we are seeing that some people, like I was talking about my 65-year-old uncle that can see through those type of ads, then yeah, something is moving, and if they can see through it that it's fake, then we have to do something else. And today I stumbled on an ad of Ritual, a multivitamin company in America that is very big. And what I noticed is that they present the influencer as a paid Ritual partner. So they're actually being super transparent about the fact that this is like a collab, which they paid for. And I find it, it used to be like user-generated stuff. It's faking that you have a lot of reviews and showing that all people love you, love your brand and love your product. And here they're just saying, this is someone that is being paid for. I really like it. As a customer, it would make me trust the brand more, and it would make me want to buy from them because they are being transparent about the fact that it's a paid partnership. On Instagram, you have in some cases you are obliged to do so, and these type of ads you are not yet. But I really like what Ritual was doing there. And then again, also we were talking about like, okay, UGC is not always on brand. Adding subtitles that are branded using your own colors can create some vibe of the fact that it's a bit more branded. Also, the call to action at the end can make sure that you have that brand feeling even in the user generated content. I'm at the end of my presentation. So the idea now is that we go through your questions that you have. Just going to check with my colleague how we approach this.
You have in Q&A section, you have the questions.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to scan through.
Chat. And here you have the Q&A.
Yes, only 2 questions at this stage. Come on, you can do better. Okay, Brecht, TikTok is mainly centered to a younger audience, right? Should you then advertise on TikTok if you know your target public is older, let's say 30 to 35-year-old? The beauty about the digital marketing is when you set up your target audience, and it's something that I hear a lot, to be honest. But the beauty is, in fact, if you put your audience at 30 plus, let's say on TikTok, you're not paying for the people that aren't 30 plus. So the thing is, you can easily test the fact if that your customer, your potential customer is on TikTok, and you can leave all the people that are younger than 30 years old behind. So that's, for me, it's not an issue. And we are seeing, as within every platform, Facebook used to be for youngsters, Instagram was for youngsters, TikTok was in the beginning very much for youngsters, but now it's moving again. There's a curve that I have on my computer that clearly shows that every platform at one stage becomes mature. It becomes mature at not only like the platform is mature, but also the audience becomes more mature. So that's something that is I definitely to keep in mind. So make sure also, if you want to test out TikTok, that you do it sooner than later, because now it's cheap. If everyone start using it, if the Coca-Colas, the Mercedes, the BMWs jump on it, it will become super expensive again. And then you will be saying, in 2022, I should have done TikTok ads, like everyone's saying 5 years, like in 2016, I should have done Facebook and Instagram ads, but now it's very expensive. Still very much interesting to do so, but not as interesting as it used to be. Anonymous attendee, nice to meet you, Anonymous. Do you think UGC type of ads is also relevant for B2B purposes? To be honest, we're testing this with a client, a partner. We're not focused on B2B, but we have done some testing, and the results look quite positive. I think it's a way to stand out in the crowd. I'm looking at another customer, which is both B2B and B2C, and there we are running LinkedIn ads at this point. Very UGC focused. It's UGC content, but it's actually the founder even talking, and we see them really outperforming the typical content that you would see on LinkedIn. So not a lot of people are doing it. So if you want to test it out, I think it's now would be the moment, because the CPCs on these type of ads compared to the classic LinkedIn ads are very positive. Then Julie, you talked about awareness and conversions in your budget division. What about traffic? So I was talking about awareness and conversion. That's correct. In a way that is, you have the top of the funnel, you have the bottom of the funnel. I wasn't really talking about any specific techniques, let's say in Facebook ads techniques, like running traffic campaigns. So I was really dividing someone who has never heard of you, someone who had multiple touch points. So that was my division of those 2 type of ads. Can we still do photo ads? Yes, of course, you still can do photo ads. The thing is, I would test both of them in top of the funnel and in bottom of the funnel, so in awareness and conversion. The thing is, mostly we see in paid ads right now in top of the funnel, so in awareness, that video is outperforming them almost every time. So the thing is, first video, then in remarketing, images would be my go-to strategy. but it's something that, of course, we on a new account, on a new client, we will test. But the assumption of video ads running at the beginning, so at the top of the funnel, is mostly correct for us. Then my brand is really high end. Should I consider UGC? Very interesting question, and I think you should definitely do so. I've seen a lot of, I don't know which type of company or product you are running or you are working for. But for example, I've seen watch companies, like very high-end watch companies running them. It's a bit more branded, a bit more classy. I think you should stay true to your tone of voice, but the building blocks and the way that we position our way of doing paid ads should work for any type of e-commerce company, even the more high-end. It's just about your tone of voice, making it different, that it's a bit more classy, a bit more close to your brand. And then I'm pretty sure it will outperform every other ad that you are currently running. All right. Anisha, is it better to have an agency create your content or can you do it yourself? Very, very interesting question. I think it should be a collab, because people working in the company are closer to the brand, closer to the product, know more about the product than an agency can, and especially in a short time. If you work with the same agency for a couple of years, that can of course change. But in the beginning, we very much see it as a collab. When we are talking about, for example, organic posting on your Instagram feed, we really believe that it's stronger when you do it internally, because their tone of voice, staying true to your brand, is so important that having a third party doing it gets complicated. And that's why one of the reasons that we are not focused on it. Gilles, currently we are really struggling to reach our older audience, 45 to 65-year-olds. We are already running very specific Facebook ads, since it seems like this is the only way to reach them. Would you also use a more TikTok-like type of ads? Yes, I would very much do so. Even for that buyer persona, I would look at these type of ads, run them. What we see in our accounts is that even the UGC ads, which I talked about them and told it was the 2020 thing. Now it's changing a bit. And the older demographic, we see them working better than in the younger one. So that's because I think we, I was gonna say we young people, but I'm 32, so not that young anymore. So the thing is that people that are close to digital marketing know how it works, know how it functions, can see through it faster than a demographic which didn't grow up with it. Hope that answers your question, Gilles. Anonymous, how frequently should there be new content? What is a budget that should be allocated to create it? Okay, very interesting. How frequently is a matter of performance. We are seeing that updating your content and your ads needs higher frequency of lately. So what happens is, let's say that you have a demographic in Flanders that you're reaching, you have the funnel set up, your campaigns are running. What will happen is the type of people that are most likely to convert, Facebook will pick out first. And so your message will be shown to those low-hanging fruits, let's say. And then after a while, there will be ad fatigue. Most of the people that are likely to convert will have seen your ads and it won't engage with them anymore. So what we're seeing now is that after like 2 weeks to 6 weeks, and it really depends on every account, that there needs to be like an creative refresh. And then the second part of your question was, what is a budget that should be allocated to create it? Creatives compared to media budgets, this is something that we use internally, that you should like see it as 1/3, 25% to 1/3 of the media budget that you're running. So if you're running 10K media budget, you should go for creatives, creative budget from about 2,500 euros to 3.5K, around that. It's a formula that we use. It of course depends on what you're trying to achieve. Next question, any tips to collect UGC content for a 45-year-old audience, which is less familiar with UGC and sharing photo video reviews? So you mean that you want UGC ads where you have a person that is 45-year-old or older that is in your ads? If you're a startup, go for own network. I think that's key. Then again, to be honest, it's something that is not easy to do, finding the right people. You can, of course, just look on Instagram and try to DM people. Some of the people that are influencers, let's say, are eager to work with startups, especially if they get like a product for free and then some money. I would definitely give them a fee for it. Otherwise, it will be difficult. But hey, that's my advice. First, own network, then trying to DM people. And thirdly is working with either an agency or working with an influencer agency that is specialized in it. Any other brands we should really look at for examples who are doing this best in class next to Ritual and Smile? Really good question. I think purely as on a brand level that's not so UGC focused, I think you should look at all the big D2C brands, which are like Allbirds, the shoes, Casper. I have some in my list here I can show you. I can definitely send you a list. So contact me if you, I think Blueland is a very good one. Mud/Water, that was the one that I was showing. Ilia Beauty is a good one. I can send you a list if you want to. We have a lot of them that we use as references. I see that, I think that the questions have come to an end. Anyone else looking for a question that wants to ask a question? Otherwise, I think we are ready. I'm gonna check with my colleague. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yes, so thank you so much, everyone, for attending this webinar. So if you need the slides or you want, like as I mentioned, some ad library companies that we are looking at to like really come up with ideas, which type of companies are doing this at the highest level, feel free to send me like an email and we can get in touch. Again, thank you so much for attending. Looking forward to meet you all at one stage. Would be very nice. Thank you.